Hi everyone, welcome to a new week, I think. Not actually sure where I'm going to put this footage, but it's probably going to be next week's video. Anyway, regardless of that, time to get a bit more work done on the Cosworth Replica. So I think plan for today is just to start disassembling, have a look and see exactly what we need to do basically. Just start getting a bit more of a game plan together in terms of what we're going to do with this car. I need to see where the fixing points are, see how everything's going to line up. There's some trimming work to be done for sure. I think I might start off with the engine bay. We'll have a look and see about getting rid of various wires and bits and pieces in there that we don't need anymore. Just have a bit of a tidy up in there, just in preparation really for the next stages. I've got some more panel bond coming. Same sort of process that we did on the Skyline for these rear quarters. So I'll whip them off and see exactly what we've got left to deal with underneath there. Skyline wise, got a new front bumper there for it, has turned up. The wings were ordered at exactly the same time from the customer, but they're actually being manufactured. No, I tell a lie, they're actually in the Every depot at the moment, just sat there, and they have been for several days, but hopefully we'll get those turning up soon and we can crack on the Skyline. There's no point at the moment in concentrating too much time and effort into the Skyline when I'm waiting for parts on it, so we will not sideline it, but concentrate on this for a little bit first. As always, plenty on, so yeah, we'll get going now. That's the work started on the engine bay then. So we've taken this piece off here. Kev asked me to take that off. Obviously I've still got to clean up the welds and grind back all the spot welds. A lot more cleaning up work to do. We haven't even started prepping this. I've just literally stripped it, given a quick hoover out just to see exactly what we've got going on. But yeah, not too bad at all. A couple of areas that we need to address. But it's a start anyway. On the rear end, we are just having a look to see about mock fitting all the panels at this stage. There's a bit of trimming work to do in there, as you can see, just down there. I'll trim that off quickly now, just so that I can get this rear bumper lining up a bit better. I'm not going to do the holds and everything on the rear bumper. There's a fiberglass section here where I'll be able to mount some bolts. Essentially, I'm going to mount some bolts inside of this, and then they'll just fit in standard positions. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'll do that when I've got the rear quarters bonded on exactly where they need to be, because there is a fair bit of adjustment work that we need to do with those as well. Yeah, trim that off first, get this rear bumper lining up a little bit better just to see exactly where we're at, go from there. Okay, trimming's done and the bumper's on. The only thing that's really done at this stage is made it obvious that I need to fit these quarters first before the bumper. Bumper doesn't really line up how I want it to at all at the moment. That's one way of saying it in any case. So on this side it's not too terrible, it's not great, but it's not terrible. But on the other side, it's massively pulled in at the moment. No matter what I do, it's obviously this is not in the right place at the moment, but it's very, very pulled in. The reason being for that is it's currently got these lips here. You can't really see it on the camera. It's got this lip which kind of folds over and around, and that's pulling it into the original arch. I can't actually see a reason for that to be on there, to be completely honest. It's not acting as a mounting point because there's nothing behind it. Yeah, I don't really know what it's doing at the moment, to be frank about things, so I'm going to have a think about things. Like I said, I'll probably end up fitting this first, but at this stage, I can't see what that lip's actually doing for me as a benefit. because it doesn't really appear to be helping me out that much, that's for sure. It's just pulling it in more than it wants to be. Obviously at this, this is butted up against the car as we stand currently, so that can't go in any further. Yes, I think I'm probably going to cut those lips off. Not sure. I'll have a think about it. Like I said, it's going to need quite a lot of thinking, this car, to be honest, about how we need to do things. Again, so this front edge is going to be a bit of a problem. There's always ways around things, but with this, one of the biggest things that I picked up on straight away was essentially we need this edge here to be flush with the door, because that's how they are on the Cosworths. It's all very well and said and done just bonding something on like this. But then you've got, again, it doesn't show up on the camera, but you've got, I don't know, probably about 8 mil of that sticking out. So that's fine on a Jap car or something like that when, you have the rear wider arches and they kind of look in place. But for something like this, it's just not going to work. It's out far too much. It really doesn't show it on the camera, but it is out a lot. So we need to blend that in. That's fine up the top edge, easy. But where we get to this edge here, it's for one, thicker, and for two, where you've got the body lines, you've got an even bigger gap there, so that's going to cause issues for me. There will be a way around it. It's just a little bit harder than I was hoping for because, again, you can see a big old gap there, flush here, big gap there. That doesn't help out. It would be nicer if this was flowing with the contours of the car to start with, but it just doesn't. So never mind, we will think of a way of doing it. It's not going to be quite as simple as I was hoping, purely because of that section there, really. But regardless, that's all part and parcel of the process. So we'll whip these quarters off now, take the rear bumper off, take the quarters off, see what's underneath, start prepping these panels up for the bonding process. Going to need to spend quite a lot of time with TIG, making sure that these are absolutely where we want them before they're bonded into position. Once they're bonded, obviously they're not coming off, much like quarters on the Skyline. Same sort of similar process, but yeah, different as well, but similar. Anyway, take all this back off, have a look and see what's underneath, and go from there. The mounting points as well, it's not going to quite work out how I was hoping. If we can get the camera in there, you've got this big old piece here, which I presumed was going to be a mounting point, but actually, the original mounting point is much further over that way, where the holes are. Difficult to show on the camera, but it doesn't even come close to lining up on both sides. So that's not quite as simple as I was hoping. It's fiberglass though, isn't it? So never is. There's always a way, we'll figure it out. Okay, decision made, nice and easy one actually. So taking the quarter panel off. Kev has left me a decent amount of metal here to play with. So obviously the over fender, new arch, whatever you want to call it, comes to the end here. I was having issues with the other side, well, both sides, about how to get this flush, but my decision now is basically I'm just going to trim this back about that much, couple of inches, so I'll bond it onto this section here, and then I can feather that edge out and basically refiberglass this section to the new piece. I'm not sure if that makes sense or not, I've got it in my head now, but basically we're going to have a tiny bit of fiberglass here, flaring it out to the extra width which is there, and it'll all look seamless then when it's done like that. But crucially, door edge will be the same. Door edge will be flush then with the door, because obviously it is currently flush as it needs to be, and obviously the body lines are correct as well. So yeah, trim the new quarter and bond it onto this section here instead of right at the front. That should work nicely for me. Okay, I'm going to be honest, that was quite a lot of head scratching. Fitting the panel on and off and on and off and on and off several times over just to figure out exactly what we're going for. Things like this, they're never straightforward in terms of, obviously this is the first one of these that we've done. If we come to do another one, or to be fair, even when we're doing the other side, it's going to be a lot easier. It's always figuring out exactly what we need to do and what's going to work best for us in the particular situation. It's not the same as just putting a door on any of your standard cars and stuff, is it? So it's always, yeah, a bit of head scratching to think exactly what we need to do. But anyway, this is what we've come up with. So I think I said in the previous video, we've chopped some of this off. So this was originally flush to the door, which meant that there's about an 8mm gap there. And obviously this area was no good for us at all. Obviously doing it this way, I've still got a bit of leeway to play with. So I'm going to trim this back a little bit more. But then basically what I can do is from this point to this point, we'll grind this down a little bit as well. But I can just transition it out. Obviously we keep the body lines. We've been very, very careful about keeping those body lines flush exactly where they need to be. We can effectively mould this in now to that quarter, or what's left of the quarter, so that it is flush to the door. That all works nicely. In fact, it almost gives you a bit of an illusion of what it's going to look like there. Exactly how the Cosworths are meant to be. So it does obviously flare out that door onwards. That's how they're meant to be in any case. But it needs to be flush. Dead where they meet down the middle, it needs to be flush. Some more trimming work to do on these bits. Very, very tight on the boot here again at the moment, but I'm just going to fit it and bond it in place, and then obviously we can trim the fiberglass away, add new bits where we need to. And I wasn't sure about this. This took the longest time to think about, but as far as I can see, this here is flush to this is flush to this, so we don't need this top section of fiberglass. I'm just going to use the metal that's already on the car because we know that's where the body line needs to be. I've got some metal there to play with, so I'm going to trim it just below this body line here, and we'll keep the body line on the metal side of the car, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So we're going to get rid of all of that top section there and just curve it off basically along here, curve it around here, and then obviously this is fiberglass, mould that into there. Same sort of thing with this, we'll trim a little bit further back. And then on this section here, we've gone for bolting it down to that part because that's the only part there which fits flush. Everything else is a bit widened, which is obviously the point. Aside from that then, the inside, if we have a look inside, if I can get the camera in there, not so easily. Focus. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but we've got some more trimming work to do in any case on the inside panels as well. So I'm just going to tidy up the edges. Again, things like this. We've got excess metal there that we don't need. So our screw holes now, once I've taken this back off, the screw holes are going to act as a template for my metal trimming. So I can trim the metal away from the inside. I'll show you a little bit more here as well. You can just about see, we've got plenty of metal to play with there, all the way around down on the bottom as well, same sort of thing. Especially on the bottom actually, because this is not in contact, so that's not doing anything for us. That's just going to leave a moisture trap and potential for moisture to get in there. We don't need that, we don't want that, so I'm going to cut that back to where it is flush. Obviously that's in contact down there, seal that all off, bond it on, and then I will have to obviously tub these two sections again, so I'm going to tidy up this metal as well. But yeah, basically I've got my template. I can trim the metal on the inside, I can trim the fiberglass on the outside. We know exactly where the two are going to bond together now. So this panel can come off and then we can epoxy the inside of this, same as we did on the Skyline. I'll go into more detail on that in case you guys missed it on the last video, when we get to that stage. Yeah, lots of talking just to explain what we've done now. Yeah, happy with that. Quick update for you then. It's coming along really nicely. As per usual, I watched the videos that I recorded yesterday as part of the edits. I started editing YouTube, and I'll be honest, I don't really think I made a very good job of explaining what I was up to at all in those. I think I just overcomplicated everything, so you guys are probably quite confused. But hopefully the next few clips will explain a little bit what I was trying to explain in those clips. I've done it exactly the same way as I had in my head. So I have trimmed off this top edge here. Basically what I was trying to say, I think, is we're using the metal body line instead of the fiberglass body line because the metal's obviously already there, so we don't need to change that. So the fiberglass is going to be bonded lower than that body line. So I've trimmed off, as you can see, quite a few sections. Just gone around, cleaned up these edges as well. Not that they're ever going to be really visible. They're a little bit visible from the inside, I suppose, if you poke your head up there. But it's just more of a case of making it nice and neat and tidy. And we have also found, not found, but I knew this was there anyway, a tiny bit of rust there, which is caused from these little caps. Yeah, so they... I don't even know where I got to there. The little cap that I was trying to explain has actually just exploded pretty much in my hand. It's just for cavity seal and things like that, isn't it? I think they leave these caps open so you can get in there, but you can get in there from the back in any case. So, long story short, I'm going to cut this out and just re-weld a new little patch in there. Solid patch, doesn't need a hole there. You can see from the other side, it's not gone far at all, so we'll just whip that out, put a tiny patch in there. It's a nice, easy job to do when we've got the quarter like this. Finish cleaning up the edges, and then we'll be ready to epoxy these, bond them in. Coming along quite nice. Right, so I don't know if you can hear me over the noise or not, but that's this side pretty much done. So just put that little patch panel in there, bit of seam seal. TIG is just prepping the quarter for the other side. Bit different on the other side because we've got the fuel filler cap to contend with as well. So I've just taken the old one off. We've got this new panel to be bonded into that fiberglass. But to start with, we'll do the same as the other side. We'll just get it prepped, trim the edges, get the panel where we want it to be, drill it on, go from there really, see what we need to do. Okay, quick change of plan. Excuse the mess, you can see it's been a busy day. But we've got this one all trimmed back now. Panel's been on and off, fitted how it needs to be. Trimmed quite a lot more of the car out, as you can see. And I've also gone to the extent on this one of taking this panel off here. Because, so it keeps giving me this one just in case. But the red one's not in great condition on the back. And the way that it is and everything, this is just an old sealant on there, so I'll just get that off. And then I think the plan is going to be to bond this into the fiberglass panel. Pretty sure that's what I'm going to do at this stage. Obviously we've got a few cut through marks here. I'll just weld those up just to be safe. Obviously seam seal it from the inside as well. Tidied up all the edges, trimmed all these bits where we need them to be. Obviously tech's into place as well. So just same as the other side now is all we need to do in terms of grinding all the edges down bare metal, ready for the panel bond to be accepted. Seam sealed this, I think I showed that previously where that's been welded in. The other side's not too bad, but we will do that as well. It's not as bad, I don't think. I haven't actually looked. You've got this sort of rubber bung thing. If we get this out. Nope, stuck in there. Stuck in there on this side, but I'll hammer that out because it is rusted. Yeah, weld a patch in there as well then. Same as the other side, but again, you look at this car, it's really good condition for what it is. Really, really good. Barely a speck of rust on it, so obviously take care of the obvious like that. Take care of that hole there. And then yeah, I'll be ready for the two panels to be bonded on. Quite a lot of progress made. It's slow progress. And it doesn't look like it's, you know, we're going backwards at this stage to go forwards, but it all needs to be done. Quick patch welded on then, like I said I was going to, seam sealed as appropriate. I've started bare metaling the edges ready for the bonding process and tidied up the cut throughs. And we are just at the moment working on the fuel cap, or fuel cover. This was the blue one that we had previously, that was originally on the car. Shot blasted it quickly. You can see it's come out really nice now as well, so I'll be able to protect that with some epoxy. Plan for this is, got my template there, I'm going to cut the fiberglass out and I'm going to re-fiberglass this metal piece into the fiberglass. Some people will think you might have just been able to notch it out, but it wasn't the case on this because the fiberglass itself was far too thick, also obviously not as strong from when you're talking about fuel caps. You've got the pipe meeting it in the middle, you've got the cap on the outside, and you've also got this little ring which goes in as well, so they've all got to meet in the middle, and obviously the fuel cap gets twisted on and off several times, so it needed to be quite thin, which the metal is. The fiberglass was not, so I think we would have had an interference fit to start with. It would have been a problem to fit it in any case, and even if we had got it fitting, it wouldn't have been long lasting. So that's the reason why we've gone with the metal piece, glass that into there. Then we are ready to epoxy these then, get them bolted onto the car. Keep saying that, but yeah, long old process. We're getting there. Okay, Tig's just epoxied the back end of these panels for me on the Cosworth. So in case you guys missed the video that we did on this on the Skyline, I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but basically we epoxied the back ends of these fiberglass panels. Very, very important stage for us to seal it all in, stop the water from osmosis and everything from getting in through from the back end of the panels and coming through to the front in the paint. So yeah, basically just seals the panels in, seals the fiberglass. Obviously we'll have epoxy on the front as well to sandwich it all in, but it's a waterproof membrane. So really important step that we do this. These are now ready to panel bond onto the car. And then guys, that's where I'm going to leave it for the Cosworth videos for this week. So as you can see, we've bonded on the rear quarters, same as we did on the Skyline. They've got to sit for 4 hours now, and then the techs come out, grind the edges down, grind this down in preparation for fiberglass to mold this section onto here, make a seamless flush fit. You can see from the inside as well, we have epoxied all of the inside panels to seal it up. Not finished yet, obviously sealed in terms of the chemical seal on the epoxy, on the fiberglass, sorry, but we've still got to tub it and all that side of things. You can see the squeeze out as well on the panel bond to ensure we've got a really nice bond there. Obviously, like I said, we're going to be fiberglassing the edges in any case, so it's kind of irrelevant in this instance anyway, but yeah, the stronger we can make it, the better. These are never going to come off again, I can tell you that much. Fitment wise, we've got some work to do still, obviously. They are just the rough fit. It still catches and things like that at the moment, but I've done that kind of on purpose because we've lined it up how it needs to be. We can add, we can take away, we can manipulate from here. I'm not sure if I showed the fuel filler cap as well. So that's obviously glassed in from the inside, flush from the outside. That's why the rulers were there, to make it flush with the fiberglass that we've got already. Obviously, I will then glass it in from the outside as well. Yeah. Okay then guys, that's where I'm going to leave it for this week, like I said. Quick question on this one as well then. You'll see tomorrow probably now I'm going to put another video up on the Skyline, and I've got a quick post in there just to say, what do you prefer as well? Do you prefer that I keep it with separate cars like this? So one whole series on the Cosworth, one whole series on the Skyline, etc. Or just what we usually do in terms of showing a bit in the shop per day, per week. Let me know what you guys prefer. Other than that, I'll catch you tomorrow.